Hello and welcome to another Forgotten Hope tutorial. This tutorial is about the game modes in Forgotten Hope 2, and you will see that I am on the loading screen right now, and that's because on the loading screen it says a lot about the game mode over here. First there's a description about the map itself, and then there's an explanation about the game mode. And you can see that this game mode is called Conquest Head-On. And you will have to make the enemy bleed. That's what it says here. And you can increase the rate at which they lose tickets, which is another way to express at which they bleed, by holding at least half of the control points. And actually it's a half of the control points plus one. So let's see what it looks like in game. You'll have the main bases, of course, and there are 4 flags, and they are all neutral. This means that Conquest is free for all in this case, and since all flags are neutral, there's no bleed. So both teams can capture flags, and as soon as one team captures a flag, and the other ones are neutral, there will be a bleed. And when the other team will capture one flag, and it will be both teams one flag and the others will stay neutral, the bleed will stop. And as soon as one team has more flags than the other one, in a case like 1 versus 3 neutral, or 2 versus 1 neutral and 1 on the other team, there will be bleed, and of course with 3 on one side and 1 for the other team. So this is Conquest Head-On, and it means that all flags are neutral from the start. This is also Conquest Head-On, but the difference is that 2 flags are already on the German side. There's 1 flag for the Allies, and there's also 1 flag neutral. So as soon as the Germans capture this flag, the bleed will start for the Allies. That's why they have more tickets than the Axis, because the Axis is at some kind of an advantage. So this is also Conquest, but the difference is that some flags are already assigned to a team. This is also Conquest, but as you can see, all flags are assigned to one team, to the Allies in this case, and that's why the Germans are bleeding. The tickets are not subtracting because nobody has spawned yet, but in a normal game where people will spawn in, the bleed will start from that moment. So the Germans will have to gray or capture at least 2 flags to stop the bleed, and to turn the bleed, they'll have to capture a 3rd flag and push the Americans back. Because the Germans are at a disadvantage now, they have more tickets and they will need the extra tickets to neutralize the flags in order to stop the bleed. Here we have the push mode, which means that there are certain flags you can capture as the attacking side. Again, you can see that the attackers have more tickets and they are bleeding. So the bleed is motivating them to attack, and if they don't do so, they will just bleed out. So you have to attack and you have to neutralize flags in order to stop the bleed. You can see that there are green circles around these flags, and there are red crosses around these flags. This means that these flags you can't capture at the moment. You have to capture these flags first in order to unlock the second line flags. And in order to unlock Samatus, you have to capture defensive line center and defensive line east. When you have captured them both, you will unlock Samatus, but not Lake House, because Lake House is tied to defensive line west and defensive line center. This is how push works. You have to capture some flags first before you can open another flag. Another example of push where you have to capture frontline flags in order to unlock a second line flag. And if you do this, then and you capture the second line flag, one of the first line flags will become unrecappable, and the circle will turn blue in that case. So green circle is cappable flag, red cross is uncappable flag, and blue loop means capturable, but when it's neutralized, it can't be recaptured by the defending team. As you can see, the center flag is a green circle too now, so I can capture that one. Defending team can recapture the swamps flag that I just captured, because it's also a green circle. As you can see now, the middle flag has been neutralized. That means that the swamps flag has been locked. It has a red cross over it right now. And the other frontline flag has a blue loop around it. This means that you can capture it as the attacking team, but you can't recap it as the defending team anymore. And now that it has been captured, the situation is the same, and the attacking team doesn't have to defend the swamps flag anymore because it's unrecappable, but they have to defend the beachhead until they will capture Able d'Urlo. When they will capture Able d'Urlo, the next flags will unlock artillery observation posts and crossroads. This is sector push. What we can see here is that there are 3 flags open at the same time and they form a sector. And you have to, as the attackers, you have to capture all 3 flags in order to lock the sector and open up the next one. You can see that the attackers are bleeding again, just like on other push maps. They don't have a ticket advantage here, but that doesn't really matter because when they will capture all flags, they will stop the bleed and there will be a fast bleed for the defenders. This mechanic of all-time bleeding attackers is on several push maps and it always results in them winning when they capture the entire map. So let's see how this sector thing works. So while one flag is still neutral, the sector does not lock. So now you can see that these flags are crossed out now, and the next sector is mosque, market, and cannon position. As you can see now, the second sector has locked as well, and now there's only one sector, which consists of just one flag, left to capture. So I'm capturing the last flag on this map now, and as you can see, the defenders don't have any main base. The attackers do, and when the defenders lose their last flag, they will start bleeding really fast and the map will be over and the attackers will win. This map has neighboring push. It's a variant on sector push in which the sectors are dynamic. So instead of having a static sector like on Tunis that I just showed, in this map it can be that the sector consists of Navy HQ and flag position, but also of Navy HQ and plaza. The first flag, the fountain flag, is a blue loop flag, so the Germans can't capture it. They are the defenders. And I'll show how the neighboring push works. Okay, so I captured the fountain. It's crossed out now. I got 2 options. I can capture Navy HQ and Plaza, as they have green loops. So now I captured Navy HQ, and now I can still capture Plaza, but I can also capture flag position. So now I captured flag position, and you can see that it opened up new flags. It opened up Boulangerie and Ruins. So now I'm going to capture Boulangerie. So as you can see, I captured the Boulangerie. This means that the Navy HQ is locked now. The Germans can't recapture it anymore. I'm going to show something interesting about the neighboring push right now, but to do so I have to switch to the Germans. So I switched to the Germans, and as you can see, the plaza is still a German flag, but there's no spawn point there. And that's because it got cut off by Boulangerie and flag position. So in neighboring push, you can lose your static spawn point by losing the flags behind it. So in order to regain the spawn point at Plaza, the Germans have to recapture Boulangerie and reconnect the flag. So now I recaptured Boulangerie as a German. It opens up Navy HQ for capture again, and it regains a static spawn at Plaza. This is an objective map, so there aren't any flags to capture, but instead there are objectives to destroy. The objectives are marked on the map by these stars, and when you destroy them, they disappear. If you have destroyed this set of stars and this set, then a new set will appear in the city. The attackers will win if they destroy all targets. So let's go. So I'm here at the planes now. I'll have to destroy those. So I put my satchel on the plane. Take a bit of a distance. And you can see it says objective destroyed in the upper left corner. And the star disappeared from the map. So this means that when I destroy all objectives, my team will win. Okay, so that's it for this video. If you have any questions or remarks, please post them in the comments. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.